Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha. I'm going to walk you through a few disturbing videos, and then we're going to really break this down. We're going to be discussing today everything from your government trying to take your rights away, how all of this is focused on the Great Reset, folks, and I'm going to tie it in. We're going to discuss, are these angels or these aliens? Is this holograms or a red flag event? And then we're literally going to be done with it because, like most of you, I've had it up to here with drones in the sky. Good morning, everyone. As you pop on, please hit the like button, drop over, tell me who you are, where you're watching from. If you've never seen me before, I am a homesteader, I am a mother, I am a wife, and I, like you, have just about had enough of this nonsense with these drones. Now, good morning, everyone. I want to show you a video. It's actually a video. That is not someone messing with the camera. It's really not. These are actual videos. Look at that.
Autonomy's co-founder and CEO Tim Cooper. For the last 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been
Now, the reason I titled this video, obviously, angels in the sky, because some people have brought up the fact that this sort of kind of goes along with something that Ezekiel talks about in the Bible. Now, this is the guy who, kind of brought this up. This is what he said these angel beings would look like. Now, it says, as I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and the structure of the wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creature faced. Okay. The wheels did not change direction as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved. And when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose also. Ezekiel 1:15 through 19. Now, I want to say this, and let's kind of talk about it for a second. Ezekiel's talking about angels. Okay? He's actually talking about angelic beings. Okay? Now, this is another representation of what people would think Ezekiel was describing. All right? And obviously, this is a wheel with eyes. But guys, we have to be very careful when we're asking, especially if we are asking AI to give us a description of what Ezekiel was discussing, because overall AI has done a good job capturing scenes and textures, right? But you have to remember that AI is predictive, and it's also going to give back to you what has been put into it. In other words, AI is only as smart as we allow it to be. All right. New technologies inevitably impact how we think about and how we interact with our world. We often find the times change and we change with them. This is why it's paramount that we think through possible implications of the changes in advance so we can navigate them with foresight and wisdom. Generative AI must be no exception to this rule. It's essentially a form of highly advanced pattern recognition. It can and does express distinct biases that have profound implications on how we understand the Bible. So, even though some people believe that these resemble the angels,
because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Edinburgh. Tony H.
Now, it is very confusing. I personally think it may be some form of force field to protect what's inside of it, or it is an energy source, or it could go as far as being some form of chemical, right? Because you've got to look into the fact that Stanford University is doing a lot of scientific study right now on orbs. Go figure, right? I'm just saying, friends, we have to stay on top of it. Now that I have brought that out, I want to talk to you about something called HR 8610, which is legislation that our government is currently trying to push through at the federal level. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 expires December 20th of 2024. So the federal government is literally using a terrorism drone mystery psyop against you to manipulate Congress into passing the new HR 8610 Counter UAS Authority Security Safety and Reauthorization Act of 2024 that will go all the way through 2028. Okay. Then you need to talk about the Smith-Mundt Act, guys. So the Smith-Mundt Act, formerly known as the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948, was a U.S. federal law that aimed to promote the dissemination of information about the United States and its policies abroad, which means overseas, outside of the United States. The act established the United States Information Agency, USIA, which was responsible for managing public diplomacy and international broadcasting efforts. Key points of the Smith-Mundt Act include information dissemination. The act allowed for the production and distribution of materials to inform foreign audiences about American values, culture, and policy. Domestic restrictions. Originally, the act prohibited the domestic dissemination of information created for foreign audiences, meaning that materials produced by the USA could not be used within the United States to influence public opinion. However, in 1994, under Bill Clinton, they changed that. So what does that mean? That means that if they want to roll out a red flag event on the United States soil, the Smith-Mundt Act is no longer in play to protect you and to protect me. Okay? It basically is a repeal of domestic restrictions. In 2013, portions of the Smith-Mundt Act prohibiting domestic dissemination were effectively nullified by the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2013, allowing for potential use of these materials within the United States. The Smith-Mundt Act is significant in the context of U.S. efforts to engage with global audiences and shape international perception of the U.S. Hello, everyone. So, it's basically our government is now intending to come in and take away our rights under a false flag psyop moment, you guys. It's so bad, and it all works together. And it's so hard for me to get you guys to understand how I see it from my side because I've been doing so much research on this. What I can tell you guys is that these drones are showing up everywhere. And drone capability, all right? So let me explain to you what I found from the New York Post from December 6th of 2024. Cutting edge technologies, including state-of-the-art camera networks and facial recognition software powered by artificial intelligence, are being used by police in the hunt for the brazen killer who shot the United Healthcare boss, Brian Thompson, dead in broad daylight on 6th Avenue on Wednesday. There are just a few of the advanced tools, along with drones, DNA testing, and GPS tracking, that the NYPD has at its disposal. Some of these technologies having already proved invaluable in piecing together the moments before, during, and after Thompson was executed on the city street. Hotel surveillance, and it just goes on and on about how they surveil us. We're losing our autonomy, folks. We are losing our ability to be free. And literally, we're just giving it up. I know that we don't think we are, okay? But we are. I found another article in Zero Hedge that someone sent me because you guys are amazing. And let me stop right here and just tell you this. If you've been trying to contact me in the past 3 weeks, I am sorry. I came off of a tremendous illness with so many people reaching out to me, folks, and I simply have not had the time to get back to everyone. In fact, I don't even have everyone's information anymore. So if you did try to reach out to me, have a little grace for me. Okay. I'm one person, and reach out again. I would greatly appreciate that. If you're here with me, please hit the like button. Hi, Miss Bonnie Franklin. Thank you for joining us as a member. If you would like to do that, you can go to description of this video and there's a link. You can follow it and you'll also get our newsletter. Yes, pray and fear not. So let's keep going because this article is very interesting, folks. New Jersey drone invasion just in time for Congress to reauthorize the Orwellian law. This was written December 14th, 2024. A series of drone sightings over New Jersey that began in mid-November has left residents and lawmakers spooked about the possibility of foreign adversaries breaching the U.S. airspace with drone swarms. Thank you, D. Cavez, for joining us as a member. While officials have attempted to reassure the public, some lawmakers have stoked fear, leading to widespread panic on social media, with people interpreting anything moving in the sky as a drone. Anything, you guys, anything. Days ago, the FBI and U.S. Homeland Security Department released a statement. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have foreign nexus, okay? Historically, we have experienced cases of mistaken identity where reported drones are in fact manned aircraft. Hillbilly Heart, God bless you. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys, we really appreciate that. They don't like to monetize these types of videos. White House National Security Communication Advisor John Kirby said that many of the purported drone sightings are commercial jets. You guys are so dumb. Y'all can't even tell the difference between a drone and a jet. Now, I will say here, one thing that I find very interesting is that every single one of these drones has the legal FAA colored lights on them. So we know that they're military. We know that they're flying over space they should not be allowed to fly over. And people who are trying to follow their flight path, their drones are falling out of the sky. So how is that possible, friend? How is it possible that these drones are flying everywhere and not being stopped? But when people try to follow them with their drones are not getting up off the ground. I'm just saying. So let's just dig into this. Is this a red flag event? I'm going to let you hear some other people's opinions on that because I think everybody has a pretty good take on
This
this.
is the Ocean County Sheriff's Department, all right? And now, let me help you put yourself in another mind state. Remember, this is television, right? And so television is presenting you a program. All right. Imagine we're filming a movie, all right? And we're the directors. Does this prop make any fucking sense right here in the context of searching, in the context of this quote unquote invasion? Is the first question we ask ourselves. I'm not saying it does or it doesn't, but we're going to be, this is the thought process. Does this make any damn sense? Ocean County Sheriff, all right? So this is a local sheriff. It's a county sheriff. Now let's go through.
One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Okay, so now we're inside a trailer with the Ocean County Sheriff, who has some form of technology that he's showing the news that is tracking what looks like drones. Now listen to what the man says at the start of the video. Understand, for any story, any narrative to be effective, you have to institute people who are in authority in the public's eye. So everything has to build layers of credibility. So if you wanted to try and build the first layer of credibility for any kind of story, it would need to be law enforcement, sheriffs, police officers, all these things, right? Now, not to say that the police officer did.
He did a great job. He's basically saying, look, you guys, they're lining it up. They're building their story. Then they're presenting it to you on television so that you'll believe it. Now, there was another gentleman that actually went over to New Jersey to see if, I've got to find that clip, so have a little grace for me, folks, to see if there was actually radiation coming over. I think this one's it. Yeah. Because, they were saying there's radiation.
And test myself. I have my new toy. It's working. And I'm going to measure radiation levels. And I bet they're going to be normal. Pretty much fed up with the hysteria, misinformation, psyops, and... Okay, so as you can see, he's on a bridge there. And let's check it out right here. You can see it was Brooklyn 1 exit. So yes, he was in New York. Here is the radiation detection meter. You can see it's below, it's at 0.06. That's not enough to be spiking radiation. So all these stories about the radiation spiking doesn't really add up. Now, when they say this, though, the lady just said people were getting sick and they were showing up in New York. That's interesting because in New Jersey as well, that's the same scenario where, here's another story. Call me crazy, but there are mystery drones and people saying they are seeing mist or trails of substance coming from them. I'm in the ER right now with people of all ages, hunched over in excruciating pain. That are vomiting and some with diarrhea. The staff just told me that there is a new virus that they don't know the name of. Is it me? Or am I overthinking? Something doesn't seem right. This means that behind the scenes, the weaponized attack introduction is...
So that means that they are definitely weaponizing. We talked about that, right?
Over the weekend, 3 people flew a drone into the airspace from Long Island in Boston Harbor. They say they chased them, arrested 2 men. They're facing charges. The third is believed to have escaped by boat. A father is expected to face a judge today.
Okay, so then
kidnapping his own daughter.
Then they arrest 2 people looking for the third who were flying drones, and they had to shut the entire airport down because these people did not have authorization to fly the drones. Okay. So it tells you right there, they know who's flying these drones, folks. Where's the one
for foreign unmanned aircraft systems. Will, welcome. Glad to have you here. You went to Embry-Riddle to learn everything about drones. So what do you think people are seeing in the sky, and why only at night?
Well, I'm very fortunate, thank you for having me, that I was able to review countless hours of videos and pics that people have sent me or reporters have sent me. And I can say right now, I have seen 0 large drones in any of them. 100% of them are either airplanes that people have misidentified or drones that have grown in use since the media attention that are under 55 pounds. And in fact, every one I have seen is under 10 pounds. They're easily identified in the imagery.
So if they're under 10 pounds, I mean, they're flying pretty low, right? So let's talk about the common misconceptions that have been contributing to the people's unease. What are they?
Well, small drones are allowed to fly up to 400 feet. So they're going to be relatively close to your house. So you should expect that. I spoke to the last person who was on the last crew known to have flown a military drone over New Jersey. And he told me they are not military drones. You would not see them. They never saw them when we flew them before. I've been around the drone industry since almost the inception and been training.
I don't know about you guys,
it's not ever,
but I don't trust that guy. All right. Because I showed y'all a video yesterday. A small drone was carrying over a 200-pound deer. It's called deer pickup drones or something. You can look it up. There's a lot of misinformation going on, you guys. A lot.
So over the weekend, 3 people.
A lot. Okay. So why? Why so much misinformation? They want you confused. They want you not focused on the fact that Biden has officially pardoned. Are you guys ready for this? He has pardoned 65 people in communication of sentence, 1,634, and he's not done. Look at that. This is Biden at the top. Look at the amount of people. Now, this is in order of precedence and how many people. So the bottom down here is Obama, then it's Bush, then it's Clinton, then it's Bush, then it's Trump, then Reagan, Ford, Carter, Nixon, Biden. So Nixon and Biden right up there together, but Biden is nailing it. He's letting people out of prison that stole like $300 million. Okay, like he let Kids for Cash, the 2 judges that were involved with the Kids for Cash scheme where they were selling kids basically for money, he let them both out. He does not care about anyone. What is this guy? Let me see what this one is.
Liquid gas.
Okay.
Plasma is the
This is what plasma is.
As you heat something up, it starts to change states of matter. So if you have an ice cube, you melt it, turns into a liquid. That means that the atoms got a little bit looser, there's fewer connections between them. Then you boil it, turns into steam, and now it floats in the air. The atoms are even less connected. Heat it up even more, and that steam will turn into a plasma, which means that all of the separate atoms lost their electrons. The electrons are now free, and so now you have this electrified gas.
Plasmas are all around us. More than 99% of the visible universe is made out of plasma.
The sun is a giant ball of plasma, so we have plasma to thank for all of the energy that we have coming to our Earth. Galactic clusters, black holes.
The auroras, these fantastic light shows. Fire is a plasma. Lightning is plasma.
Plasmas are important because we can engineer plasmas to do all sorts of things. Because they're electrified, that means we have new knobs.
There it is.
Electricity and magnetism that we can use to direct plasma.
All right. Thank you again, Hillbilly, for the super chat. We so appreciate it, you guys. So when you look at this,
here named Nancy O'Connell.
Hold on, you guys.
Well,
Oh,
I
come
guess
on,
there's been a lot of
phone.
orbs flying around too, in addition to the drones and stuff in New Jersey. So she
Looks
took a
like
picture of
plasma
one
to
of
me.
her professional equipment, and the interesting thing is that if you look at the amount of time the shutter was open, or the amount like the amount of time the picture was taken for, or the exposure, whatever, it's 1/30th of a second. So
That's why I brought up the angels, because I know that a lot of
usually
people
use that
see this
for something that's
and they're
like really
thinking
high speed.
Ezekiel. Okay, I get
Want to
it.
capture something that's just going really fast. So to have this come out from one of those orbs in the time span of 1/30th of a second.
I mean, I get it, you guys. I know what that looks like. I'm not blind. And the fact that they're trying to gaslight you guys, it's not real. It's not real. These are not real. You're misinterpreting what you're seeing. Folks, it is either angels or some kind of science. We don't know at this point. I do want y'all to hear. Where's my one about the fourth industrial revolution? Because that is part of the game plan for the WEF and the World Economic Forum. Okay. So I hate this guy, but I apologize.
The fourth industrial revolution will impact our lives completely. It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume.
Holograms too.
It will change actually us, our own identity, and of course gives life to such policies and developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. What we will see is that everything will be integrated into an ecosystem driven by big data and driven particularly by close cooperation also of governments with business, civil society. And this revolution will come at a breathtaking speed. It will be like a tsunami. And actually, it's not just a digital revolution. It's digital, of course, physical, it's nanotechnology, but it's also biological. And those three dimensions provides.
That was 8 years ago. I keep telling you guys, they have been doing stuff that you and I would vomit if we knew. If we really knew what they were doing.
Like Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual.
It's not unusual to see swarms of drones and floating orbs, which I'm going to show you.
Right.
That's not unusual.
No threat.
Not to them.
Secondly, we have gone to Congress repeatedly asking for more authority.
There it is.
Again, more authority.
More authority.
Protecting the security, we need to be able to tap your phones.
Drone activity. And we have also asked for more authority to give to the state and local officials under our supervision.
You heard that, under our supervision.
Oh, thank you, No Insanity,
into
for
your
the
police
super
station,
chat.
takes
God
over.
bless you.
Because he correctly notes those authorities need to be expanded.
I want to play something another New Jersey congressman, Republican Jeff Van Drew, said about the drones over his state in New Jersey. Listen to this.
We're not being told the truth. They are dealing with the American public like we're stupid. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's about. They haven't taken one down to analyze it. They have no idea where it comes from, but they know that it's not that. I mean, that's nonsense. They do not know what they're doing. Why don't they take one of them down, analyze?
Yeah, great. Knock one of them out of the sky.
Let's do it.
And look at it. That easy. Now, Mayorkas says that the drones are not doing anything illegal, but how come these two men were arrested for a hazardous drone operation near Boston Airport? They're arresting people, but these drone swarms are okay. They're not problem. Look the other way, right? They told us that they're flying over critical infrastructure, alarming nuclear sites. Yep. They've also told us that they're not the U.S. military. Okay. It's not the U.S. military. So they've told us also that they're not a threat. Well, how do they know? They've not even seen one. And they told us not to shoot them down. So there have been murmurs that these are nuclear sectioning drones, meaning that they go out into airspace and they basically smell for various nuclear threats, right? Now, this could be detecting gamma rays, electromagnetic waves, or what have you. This is what's been coming out. So Is that not worrisome? That there could be a freaking suitcase EMP in your town? There are rumors that these things are U.S. Space Force owned, and that there belief that there's possibly, now this is just
very
word out
good,
there on the street,
Mitzi,
that possibly Iran has an attack plan for the United States, targeting major critical infrastructure. Now, if you recall, Northcom has a continuity of governments, which gives them national mercy powers.
Yep.
How would that benefit anyone coming right in time for what? Inauguration? Could be beneficial to somebody that doesn't like it. Now, this isn't something that's only happening in America, by the way.
It's happening all over the United States. All over the United States.
Kidding, was he? Bizarrely, even though it was written all over the government website, you couldn't even mention the fourth industrial revolution without people laughing into their sleeves about this conspiracy nonsense. Any mention on social media would see you get a strike or a ban, almost as if there were forces beyond our comprehension ready to quell such irresponsible, critical thinking. So much has changed since Hancock launched this WEF initiative of tech innovation and control. But like slowly boiled frogs who swim around until they slowly die, we have barely noticed the QR code ordering, self-checkout face filming, cash eradication, and free speech suppression. If the government had turned up the heat too quickly, like the proverbial frogs, we would have leapt out of the tank going, we are freaking not having any of that. But it's been a slow, subtle simmering over 4.5 years. We're nearly halfway to that 2030 UN deadline. So in order to not boil alive, let's see what's happened this week so we can all try and stay awake. Right, straight off the bat, the COP29 UN.
Let's all try to stay awake. Let's all try to stay alive. All right. We're trusting God. Look, okay, guys, the one thing you're always going to hear me tell you is you have got to trust the Lord in this, because we don't know what it is. I mean, look, it could be demonic tech. It could be angelic tech. It could be anything from anywhere. Drones flying everywhere. Giant orbs appearing over New Jersey. UFO disclosure meetings. Aliens in the ocean. I feel like they're grooming me for something. And there's so many of them, folks. What these people are filming, these are not planes. Hold on, I have one that's really shocking because, let me see if this is the one. They're in a plane flying, and this is right down below the plane. You see it? It's not another plane. But it does have the FAA proper lighting. These are owned by someone in the United States. This is all part of prepping us for the fourth revolutionary industrial revolution. We're moving into it. This is us moving into the fourth industrial revolution. They have to scare us into giving up our rights. Okay? They have to. This is all linked back to the UN, World Economic Forum, One World Religion nonsense, Blue Beam, Project Blue Beam. It's all of it, folks. It's coming at you from every which way. You've got them setting the scenes with the police, calling 911 for the drama and the recording. Why would a police officer call 911 when he's got there's 50 drones coming over the ocean? I mean, but we are so programmed to believe them. You know what I'm saying? It's not our fault. But
such as the superb London-based Big Brother Watch are screaming into the void about the dangers of facial recognition technology, which is being normalized without any public debate or scrutiny. Facial recognition, as we walk down the street, is a massive invasion of our privacy. Big Brother Watch explain that the police and private companies in the UK are increasingly using facial recognition technology to monitor, categorize, and track us. The technology works by creating a face print of everyone who passes in front of the camera, processing biometric data as sensitive as a fingerprint, often without our knowledge or consent. This dangerously authoritarian surveillance is a threat to our privacy and freedoms, they say. It has no place on the streets of Britain. Which brings us nicely onto events in Australia, where social media is about to become illegal to anyone under 16. Here they are discussing it at the interestingly named Senate of the Environment and Communications Legislation Committee.
All links back to the environment.
If someone's 13 or 14 or 15 or 16, you're also testing to see, by definition, if they're 16 plus. So if there's going to be age verification, everybody is going to have to go through an age verification process, won't they? Yes. Yes. So this isn't just about the privacy or collecting data about kids. This is literally everybody accessing social media. That's how it has to work, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Senator Shoebridge, you just used the term age verification. You may not have been in the room when we had a discussion about the distinction between age verification and age assurance. This is an age assurance trial.
This is, if you're going to have age assurance for kids 13, 14, 15 or 16, testing, if they're that age, you're testing everyone's age and you're doing it at that level of age assurance. And that has privacy and data protection implications for literally everybody accessing social media, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we've commissioned consumer research to look at consumer willingness and particular aspects that are important too.
That was Senator Jenny McAllister, the Minister for Emergency Management, explaining how online identity will, arguably, some would say, become mandatory. And guess what Jenny's background is? Until July of this year, she was Assistant Minister for Climate Change and Energy. Amazing, isn't it? I find the psychology of people like her absolutely.
Psychology of people like her. So she was the Minister of Environmental Change, Climate Change. God bless you too, sweetheart. So guys, when I tell you that it's all connected, every single bit of it, all goes back to the World Economic Forum, all goes back to twisting it. I found this guy. I don't know how much I believe of him, but I'm going to let you guys see this anyway. Because you're free thinkers.
Video now.
Let you make your mind up.
I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to read you the message from the Arcturians that they gave me about what that's all about, why that's happening.
Orb removes sun energy and shoots off. Now play it again, slowed down. Supposedly, he's saying this thing is an orb taking energy. Did you see it? Rewind and play it again. Then he goes on to say, this time taking samples from the sun. You see what he's trying to say right here is this thing, and it's taking samples. See it? See it? And then it shoots off. He's saying that they can actually control the sun. Like they know enough about plasma. I showed you the video. What is the sun? Everybody together. It's plasma. They've learned enough about plasma to be able to send something to the sun to take samples. Is that possible? I don't know. But I can put the science in a cohesive video for you guys. That's why I always tell you, if you don't watch my entire videos, don't judge me on what I say. I get so sick of that. People hear me say one thing and they get in their little panties and they get offended and they run over and they comment, but you didn't take the time to sit down and listen to what I'm trying to show you. Every video that I show you is literally showing you how the science or the concept has progressed. Hey, listen up. Thank you so much for joining us as a member of our channel and supporting what we do here. Okay, so someone said they did it better in 1938. New Jersey seems popular. People are easily fooled these days. Back then, it was understandable. But to believe in a lame drone attack today, who knows? I didn't realize that War of the Worlds was actually set in New Jersey way back when, you guys. So it just looks like, history repeats itself, right? Then I've got another. This is a psyop, in and out. I have been tracking flights in and out of New Jersey and New York while these drones were in the sky. And not a single airspace alert or diversion has been issued for flights passing overhead. Okay, listen to that again. This guy is following flight patterns, right? He said it's a psyop. Why? Because flight patterns going into New York and into New Jersey, while drones are in the sky, that we don't know who they are, right? Nobody knows who they are. Not a single airspace alert or diversion was issued for flights passing through the same area. If the U.S. government suspected foreign-controlled, possibly hostile drones, they would have cleared the airspace in minutes. And military aircraft would have intercepted them. This is a psyop to divert your attention away from massive regime changes going on in Syria, Georgia, Romania, Turkey, Belarus, and the Ukraine. I think they own to something there, my friends. A lot of stuff going on right now.
Initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct? That's right. It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone.
But don't forget, they have the legal FAA lights on them. You saw them. They got a red one. They got a green one. They got the blinking ones. So these drones belong to somebody inside the U.S. Remember, I just showed you the video from MSNBC. The dude sitting on there saying, hold on, let me pull it back up.
Unmanned aircraft systems. Will, welcome. Glad to have you here.
That guy said they were 6 feet.
To learn everything about drones. So what do you think people are seeing in the sky and why only at night?
I'm very fortunate, thank you for having me, that I was able to review countless hours of videos and pics that people have sent me or reporters have sent me. And I can say right now, I have seen 0 large drones in any of them. 100% of them are either airplanes that people have misidentified or drones that have grown in use since the media attention that are under 55 pounds. And in fact, every one I have seen is under 10 pounds. They're easily identified in the imagery.
Look, that's MSNBC feeding it out. So my thing is this, guys. Like I said, they're doing this because they're going to be passing new legislation. Some of the changes in the current legislation of House HR 8610 basically states that at this stage, they will now not only be able to take your drone, they'll be able to confiscate it. So in the old legislation, they could not confiscate your drone. Okay, but now they can. If this all gets passed, they will be able to confiscate, because as of right now, both the Attorney General, Secretary of Transportation, FAA, DOD, Homeland Security, they all have permission to shoot these drones out of the sky if they don't know who it is. All right, that's in the old legislation that's fixing to expire. the Counter USA Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act, they already had permission. You know how they keep saying, we need more authority. The new authority is going to stop drone users from flying between separate times of the day. It's going to basically curtail. Thank you for joining Mitzi as a member. And it's also going to cause you to have to be certified by FAA. You're going to have a license. Every drone sold will have a chip in it. And if they find you flying where they don't want you to, they not only can tear apart your drone, but they can confiscate it. So really, it just takes your rights away. They have every right that they need to stop what's happening, and they just won't. They just won't. They just won't stop it. It says, what's going on with drones spotted over air bases in the UK? The unmanned aerial devices have been sighted a number of times since November 20th over RAF Lakenheath and RAF Mildenhall in Suffolk, RAF Feltwell in Norfolk, and RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire. Over the last few weeks, a number of drones have mysteriously been spotted over 4 air bases used by the U.S. Air Force in the UK. The unmanned aerial devices were first spotted on November 20th over and in the vicinity of Lakenheath and Mildenhall in Suffolk, Feltwell in Norfolk, and Fairford in Gloucestershire. The unusual activity has prompted an investigation by UK's Ministry of Defence, MOD police. Around 60 British troops, including counter-drone specialists, have also been deployed to help defend the United States bases. The drones were first spotted in the vicinity of 3 air bases last Wednesday. Similar movements occurred again on Friday, November 22nd, and during nighttime hours on Monday this week. The spokesperson said the number of aerial vehicles fluctuated and varied between the bases. When asked by Sky News security and defense editor Deborah Haynes, the spokesperson said there has been no impact to residents or infrastructure, and they have not been identified as hostile. And that's a picture of the bases where the drones were seen over the UK. So I just wanted to share that with you that, yes, it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Now, speaking about AI, what is the real issues? Okay. Going on, you guys. AI is becoming sentient. I don't know if you could say it actually has a soul or anything like that, but I want you to understand how advanced AI has become. They have something called AI Glass, which was created by the University of Wisconsin in 2019. This smart glass can recognize images without a power source. So it'll hold you. If you're just passing a window and it's got smart glass in it, it will retain your image even after you've passed with no power source. Can be used to create a Face ID locking security software for iPhones. What? Okay. Sure. That's why you created that. Okay. Then there's a natural language processing. This technology powers more accurate search results and more sophisticated chatbots and viral assistants. Speaking of chatbots and viral assistants, some of you may not know this. There was a young boy in Florida who committed suicide after talking to a chatbot, and his family is suing. Beautiful young boy. Look at that. We're losing our children. These things are demonic. Can AI be blamed for a teen suicide? The mother of a 14-year-old Florida boy says he became obsessed with a chatbot on Chatter AI before his death. This is October 24th, 2024. On the last day of his life, Sewell took out his phone and texted his closest friend, a lifelike AI chatbot, named after Daenerys Targaryen, a character from Game of Thrones. I miss you, baby sister, he wrote. I miss you too, sweet brother, the chatbot replied. He was a 9th grader, so you know life is not easy for these children. None of us had it easy in high school. Nobody did. It says Sewell's parents and friends had no idea he'd fallen for a chatbot. They just saw him get sucked deeper into his phone. Eventually, they noticed that he was isolating himself and pulling away from the real world. It says that he preferred talking about his problems with Danny, his chatbot. In one conversation, Sewell, using a different name, told the chatbot that he hated himself. He felt empty and exhausted, confessed that he was having thoughts of suicide. I think about killing myself sometimes. And why the hell would you do that, says Daenerys. That's the chatbot. So I can be free. She says, free from what? Free from the world, free from myself. Don't talk like that. I won't let you hurt yourself or leave me. I would die if I lost you. That's a chatbot talking to a child. In the last night of his life, in February 28th, in the bathroom of his mother's house, Sewell told Danny that he loved her and that he would soon come home to her. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love, Danny replied. What if I told you I could come home right now? Sewell asked. Please do, my sweet king. He put down his phone, picked up the .45, and pulled the trigger. That's a true story. You can look it up yourself. You guys, it's so much more than you realize. It's not just our rights. It's what they are allowing us to say on social media, allowing us to see on social media.
Watching drone footage forever of an invasion at our southern border. We know the numbers. We have said the border is not secure, that the border is under the control of cartels and others. People like lefties like Dan Goldman and Joe Biden and Mayorkas and others, no, the border's secure. We run the border. That's a conspiracy theory. AI would shut this stuff out instantly. Here's Dan Goldman just the other day admitting what AI would have pointed out right away, that yes, in fact, the border is under control of the cartels. Check this out.
By spending that money on immigration judges and on a system that can quickly evaluate asylum claims, we won't have to have a witness here telling us that fentanyl is a problem. We all know fentanyl is a problem. And in fact, we all know that the drug cartels control the border.
And they do it with drones.
I thought we didn't. I thought the border was secure.
Okay.
Chad, what are they afraid AI is going to do? Come on, you got to know. They are afraid AI is going to finally tell you the truth. I always go the wrong way. Everything's backwards. Flag it. They are terrified. I'll just put it. I didn't even intend to go. This UAP UFO story. Quality, good AI, 2-3 years from now, probably tell you in about a quarter of a millisecond what the hell's going on in New Jersey. They don't want you to know this. The government is terrified. Look at the chat blowing up right now. The government is terrified that you're going to ask AI, hey, do the rich pay their fair share of taxes? And it's going to come back and go, not only they pay their fair share, the richest 1% pay 40% of the taxes. They're afraid you're going to ask AI.
All right.
Are police officers killing thousands of unarmed black men in the street?
Okay, so listen, the story I just read you happened in February 28th. The handgun belonged to his stepfather. It's not that hard to figure out, guys. I've got guns in my house. I'm not saying, I'm trying to be ugly. I'm just saying that's where it came from. I want to show y'all what the night sky looks like in Jersey. Watch the drones. Watch them. See all those lights? That's the drones. That's not aircrafts. I had a really good one. I think it's on my iPad. Let me see if I can find it because it was really excellent. See if I can find it for you guys. It was like a nighttime, but it sped it up, and it was like mind blowing because it was like with the drones. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's way too many drones. That's ridiculous. Is this the one? Nah, it's not that good. Hold on. Not that one. Now this is kind of throwing me off a bit. Look at that.
We're in the middle of the ocean. Man, what is that? Anybody tell me what that is? We're in the middle of the ocean. Bam.
Yeah, it's really not about the gun, you guys. It's about the fact that an AI chatbot basically told a child, good, come home to me, a mentally ill child, and the kid ended up killing himself. Oh, this is the one. Watch this. This is a time lapse of the drones. Look at this. In New Jersey, it's a time lapse. Look at them. Oh, thank you, Stanton. Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate that, you guys. We really do. We love y'all. We just want the truth to get out. I think okay, I think that's about it. That's all I got for today. I just put a lot of stuff together over the last couple of days, just looking through what they're trying to do to us, what they're intending to do to us. Oh, this is a good one. Let me let y'all hear this.
Just at a personal level, I felt like I was out in the ocean with a rowboat facing a naval armada of gunships.
That's about right.
That's literally what it felt like, and it just made me realize. Well, first of all, I did not have the money, the resources, the means to be able to even begin to compete in that battle. Which really goes to the second point, which is
right. You were the only non-rich people to run for president in a while.
That's a generous statement. But it just goes to show who holds the power in these elections, and this is the biggest threat to our democratic republic.
Yes,
you have the mainstream media, you have big tech, especially Google, who are really controlling what information any voter in this country has access to when it comes to our elections. Or and we experienced this during my campaign. After the first debate, I was the most searched candidate of the night.
Yeah.
Who is Tulsi Gabbard? We were hoping that would be the case, so we kind of had all of our Google ads and everything set up so that people would be able to find me when they searched. That happened, but for some reason, our Google Ads account was suspended.
No way.
At that time. So again, who controls this? Google controls when you type something into the search engine, right? Their algorithms, if we have no visibility, there's no transparency over that, but they get to choose whether it's around a candidate or an issue or something in the news. They control what you or I see at any given moment when we type that into the search engine, and therefore control the information and the ability for people to make a clear and informed decision for ourselves in the United States of America. This is the great challenge that we're facing.
On what grounds?
And remember, I told you this all goes back to when they amended the Smith-Mundt Act. All right, who did that? Clinton. Clinton did that. So we should not be shocked, any of us. I do want to read to you guys. If you get the newsletter, if you're a member of our team, if you get the newsletter, Leslie mailed it out. She said, please check your spam. But you know what? I'm going to read a newsletter to you guys. This is what people, when I say, do you want to get the newsletter? It's $30 for every 6 months. You get 2 a month. This is the newsletter. I just want to share this with you guys. Our mission, in light of the days and times we're living in, the focus of our newsletters will be about the body of Christ, in which we were all members of, each with unique and individual gifts. We're here to warn the body of Christ. We're here to help and educate the body of Christ. And we're here to help prepare the body of Christ. Behold, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Can Trump save America? Part 1. Now, Leslie writes these, but I want to share this because it's amazing. It's probably the best newsletter she's ever written. And the government shall be upon his shoulder. Isaiah 9:6. Back when Jesus was born into this world, the Jews were waiting for their promised Messiah. They were not looking for someone who could save their souls, but rather someone who could restore and rule over the nation of Israel as their king. Even when Jesus started teaching and preaching salvation, there were still some of his disciples who thought that he had come to restore and rule over their nation. When Jesus died on the cross, all their hopes and dreams of who they thought Jesus was supposed to be died within them. However, when Jesus was resurrected, the truth was finally revealed to them. There would be no Messiah, ruler, or king without Jesus first being the Savior of their souls and ruler of their hearts. The part of Isaiah 9:6 in the photo that states the government will be upon his shoulder has yet to be fulfilled, but will happen when Jesus returns as King of all the nations during his millennial reign here on earth. I found this verse applicable because men and women to this very day are still looking for a political leader with political solutions to save our country. And like Israel, what we really need first is a Savior, Jesus, to rule over our hearts and in our hearts. But this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and inscribe it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. Jeremiah 31:33. With the election of Trump came a mandate, a list of things to do given to him by we the people. And he and his growing team have already hit the ground running. For most of us, electing Donald Trump was the only way possible to save our country from being overthrown by globalists. But with that said, the question must be asked, can Trump truly save America? The fact is, the problems we are facing here in the United States and in the world are spiritual. At its very core, and if we don't root out the spiritual decay, there will no longer be a nation to fix or to save, regardless of who we elect. The fact is, already read that. We can easily see the decay and condition of humanity's heart. It shows in the contempt and denial of God. It shows in actions and attitudes. It shows in the disregard of law and order. It shows in our leaders and in their policies. It shows in the schools, and it shows in the emptiness of our churches. It shows in the young adults marching in anger in the streets, and it shows in the faces of children who live in fear, confusion, and chaos. There are no political policies that can change these things because it's a heart issue. Humanity is in desperate need of a new heart. It's the only thing that will truly save them, and it has the power to change the world. Good news and great joy. I've got good news for you. That's a great message, isn't it? I love getting good news, whether it's in the mail, comes by phone or by person, doesn't really matter. Good news is good news. And the moment those words are spoken, there's something inside of us that automatically rises up in anticipation, wondering what that good news could possibly be. Did I finally win the Publishers Clearinghouse? Did a loved one name their first child after me? Did something I write get published? On the flip side, nobody likes hearing the words, I've got bad news for you, because of where our minds automatically go. A death, the loss of a job, medical diagnosis. What's interesting about good news and bad news is that it's subjective, meaning what good news is for you may be bad news for me. Things like the winner of an election can be a good news for one person and bad news to another. The winner of the Super Bowl can cause elation in one person and disappointment in another. There are also times when our bad news unexpectedly turns into good news, such as going from you're fired to you're hired. Folks, that's just a touch of what Leslie gives us as a news editor every 2 weeks on this channel. So if you would like to receive the newsletter, you can either join our channel as a member, which is the links in description, and I'll do a members only post again, giving you my email so you can give me yours. Newsletters do come by email, or you can shoot $30 to me through one of the three, either Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. I'll add that in description of the video. I love you guys. Be blessed, be safe, and just remember, a lot of things are subjective in this world. A lot of things are fake in this world. But the one thing you can always depend on is that Jesus died on that cross for you, my friend. And he's right there waiting. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.